What is going on, everybody, and welcome back. Today we are building Tiel the Acolyte in Mortal Shell 2, and this one is nasty. The whole thing runs on two things stacked on top of each other. You poison everything in the room, and then you detonate it. Shadow Strike puts the poison on. One node in the tree makes that same strike blow every stack you applied. Everything else in here is either feeding the poison or making sure you crit while you do it. I am walking the full skill tree first, then the weapon and every Tarstone I have equipped. Every card you see on the right is off my own screen. So how does he actually play? Tiel has a state called Shadowed, and almost everything keys off it. You go into Shadow, get behind something, and open with Shadow Strike. That is where all of the poison comes from. His other tool is Shadow Dash, which is a movement ability that leaves something behind. Stay shadowed longer and your strike hits harder. Come in from behind and it hits harder again. So the loop is simple. Get around the back and strike, detonate it, then dash out before anything reaches you. Now for the tree itself, Tiel runs on 40 skill points and I have 39 of them spent. So what you are looking at is very close to a finished build. I am not going to throw the whole board at you in one shot. We are going node by node so you can see what each one actually does. 6 of these are maxed out because they carry the build. 3 of them are sitting at level 1 and I will tell you exactly why. Escalation is the first thing you max and it is not close. Every level improves Shadow Strike directly. The first 2 tiers take it to 125% damage and then 140. Good, but the third tier is the reason this node exists. Shadow Strike starts inflicting 10 poison stacks every time it lands. That single line is what turns Tiel into a poison build. Without it, nothing else in here has anything to work with. Poison Burst is the other half, and this is the one that makes it broken. Shadow Strike now detonates every poison stack sitting on the target. Read that one again, because the same button that applies the poison also sets it off. Each detonated stack deals 4 damage at first and 6 at max. 10 stacks going off together is real damage from one hit. And at the top tier, the enemy you struck also emits a poisonous cloud, so everything standing near it takes damage too. Deathmark is another Shadow Strike node, and it is pure numbers. First tier gives your strike 23% extra critical hit chance. Second tier pushes your critical damage to 120%. Then the last one inflicts 10 fragile stacks on whatever you hit. Fragile is the part people skim past. It means everything you throw at that target afterwards lands harder. Max this one out. Shadow Stalk rewards you for being patient. Your Shadow Strike damage climbs the longer Tiel stays shadowed. It starts at 2 extra damage for every half second you spend in shadow. Level it and that becomes 3, then 4. Half a second is nothing, so this stacks up fast while you are circling around behind something. It is the node that turns waiting into damage. Ambush is the one that teaches you how to actually play him. Everything on this card only fires when you strike an enemy from behind. Do that and you deal 150% damage. You also get 25% extra critical hit chance on top. And at max level, those hits deal 120% critical damage. None of this fires if you stand there trading hits with something. You have to get behind them. Shadow Clone is the most fun node in the tree. Every level improves Shadow Dash, and now your dash leaves a clone standing where you were. Anything that hits that clone takes 2 poison stacks for its trouble. At first, the clone survives 3 strikes, and once it is maxed, it soaks 5. Here's the best part. When the clone finally expires, it bursts into a poisonous cloud for 5 seconds. So you dash away and the thing chasing you walks straight into poison. Now the 2 I could not finish. Nightstride widens the activation window on Shadow Dash by 20%, which just makes the dodge more forgiving. The tiers above it are strong. 300% stagger damage on the dash and a much wider window. My card says insufficient shell points, so those are locked. Same story with Lasting Legacy. It keeps Tiel shadowed for longer and hands you extra shadow stacks from your abilities. I am on 2 of a possible 5. Critical Role is the third one sitting at level 1, and it is the one I actually want more of. After a Shadow Strike, your next melee attack strikes critically. That is not a chance to crit. It is a guaranteed one. The second tier extends that to your next ranged attack as well, which is huge with the Crossbow, and the third makes those critical hits deal 100% more damage. If you find the shell points before I do, put them here. That is the tree done, 39 points, and every one of them is doing the same job. Applying poison or detonating it or making sure you crit. Quick one before we move on. Drop a comment and tell me whether you went poison on Tiel or built him some other way. Right, let us get into the gear. For the weapon, I am on the axe and dagger, and mine is sitting at plus 16. The game calls it an unusual pairing of a simple thief's tool and a vicious axe from the northern lands. That description is doing a lot of work. The dagger side keeps him quick, which is what you want on a character built around getting behind people. The axe side is there when something needs to actually die. It fits him perfectly, and it takes the infusion we are about to talk about. The Serpent Stone is the single most important Tarstone in this build. It consumes 15 resolve to infuse your weapon with poison. At level 1, that infusion only lasts 4 strikes. Level 2 doubles it to 8, and once it is fully maxed, the infusion is permanent. Mine is maxed, and that changes everything. Your weapon is now applying poison on every single swing, so Poison Burst always has a pile of stacks waiting to go off. Next is the Grudge Stone, and this one is a guaranteed crit on a timer. Your weapon deals a guaranteed critical hit every 10 attacks at level 1. Mine is level 2, so I am getting 1 every 7. Max it out, and it drops to every 5 attacks. Pair that with the crit chance we already have from the tree, and you are landing criticals constantly. This one is worth leveling early. The Acolyte Stone gives you a charged light attack, and mine is maxed. It consumes 40 resolve to perform it. The first tier hands that charge attack 15% extra critical chance. The second takes its critical damage to 150%, and the last one drops the resolve cost from 40 down to 30, so it gets stronger and cheaper at the same time. That is your opener on anything with a health bar worth respecting. For the sidearm, I am on the Forgotten Crossbow, again at plus 16. The game calls it surprisingly well calibrated, and it absolutely is. The stone I have in it is the Hag Stone, which is the Serpent Stone for your gun. 20 resolve infuses your sidearm with poison. Mine is level 1, so that only lasts 4 shots. Leveled up, it goes to 8 shots, and then permanent. Get it there, and your crossbow is feeding the same poison your weapon is. The Fusillade Stone only fires when you are rich on resolve. Sit at 80 resolve or higher, and it unleashes a flurry of consecutive shots. Each shot in that flurry has 20% extra critical chance at level 1. That climbs to 35, and the top tier adds 100% critical damage. Then there is the Volatile Fragment, and mine is maxed. Any enemy that dies to a ranged attack explodes for splash damage. 35 splash at max level, which clears a group on its own. Now the support stones, the Deadeye Stone improves your ranged critical damage, and mine is level 2, so that is 30% extra with 40 available at max. Then the Devout Stone, which is the one keeping the whole thing running. Killing an enemy with your sidearm generates resolve. Mine is on 14 a kill, and it goes up to 28. That matters more here than it looks. Fusillade wants you above 80 resolve, and this is how you stay there. The last two are both critical chance, and both of mine are maxed. The Marksman Stone gives ranged attacks 15% critical chance. The Auspicious Stone does the same job for melee at 18%. Stack those with Grudge and Deathmark and Ambush. Tiel ends up critting on a genuinely silly share of his hits. If you are barely touching your crossbow, you could swap the ranged one out. The two I would never move are Serpent and Devout. So here's the whole thing in one go. Serpent and Hag keep both your weapons permanently poisoned. Escalation piles 10 more stacks on with every Shadow Strike. Poison Burst detonates all of it and leaves a cloud behind. Shadow Stalk and Ambush make that strike hurt if you are patient and you come from behind. The crit stones make sure it lands hard every time. And Devout keeps handing your resolve back so you can do it again. Let me know in the comments what you would change. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will catch you on the next one.